Hey, DM Scotty here with episode 10 of the DM's Craft. Today I was going to do something interesting. I was going to craft a hay wagon for a farm scene. You may have noticed that it's very hard to find those kind of props, especially for fantasy miniatures. But a lot of times you can get around it very easily by just crafting your own very inexpensively and easily. And I'm going to show you how easy that is to do. And so you can take this philosophy and make just about anything you can think of as a prop for your games. So keep that in mind, and we will move on to making the hay cart. So here I've got the pieces of my wagon. I have the bed. I made a back step for it, and this is going to be the body. So what I'm going to do is just glue the back step on. Okay, for the next step, I've got this piece of cardboard. It's a half width cardboard, so I'm going to cut it so it's a thinner cardboard. I've just marked out the pieces here. Goes a little long. Okay, so these two will be the sides, and this will be the front. So I'm going to glue those on. Now I'm using the Elmer's glue on the small object because it's easier. You could use the hot glue, but it can get a bit messy. I find it easier just to use the Elmer's glue. Takes a little longer to dry, but not too long. Okay, so now I've got the body of the wagon and the sides and a back step, and I'll let that dry and then go to the next step. So now I've got my little wagon body together. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put wheels on this, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this piece of basswood as the axle, and I'll just turn it over, and that's how I'm going to measure how long the axle will be. So I'll just mark it there. And then I have my little miter box. So I'll cut that. And some little sand paper. And I'll check that out and see if that's perfect. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wheels on. I've just got these little wooden discs for wheels. These are actually just MDF bases that are for figures that people make. They're laser cut. You can buy them online, or you can just make your wheels out of cardstock or cardboard. Now what I'm going to do is to add a little extra detail to the wheels. I'm going to take my miter box, and I'm going to put the wheel down, and I want to divide the wheel in half, but I don't want to cut it all the way in half. I just want to mark on the wheel itself so it looks like that the wheel has a divide. So hopefully you can see that. So when I paint it up, it won't just look like a round disc, it'll have a divide in it, so a little more added interest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on with the glue gun this time, since these are a little more substantial. So I'm going to glue the axle on first. Okay, so I've got the axle on, you can see. So now I'll glue the wheels on. So I'll put a dab there and just try to get it centered. So there we go. Got that. I'll do the other wheel. And then you want to put that down to make sure that it works, that the one wheel's not too crazy, that they're the same on both sides. So there you go, I've got my wheels on. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to make the pole pieces for the front. So I'm just going to measure so I'm going to measure 2 inches for each piece. And I'll cut those with a miter. Okay, so I got both of those. So now I'm just going to put those underneath like that. Okay. So I get my glue gun. Okay, I got the 2. So I got that like that. So there we go. So we got the wagon. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut sticks for the body of the wagon to hold the hay in. So I'll just get my miter out, and I've already cut these. I've already marked these to 1 inch. So I'll just cut all these pieces. So I got those cut, so the sanding, just sand the edges off. So now I'm going to use the white glue for this part, and I'm going to glue one in the corner here. So let's put a dab of white glue to my stick. I put it all the way down. Next one. So I've got those 2 there. Getting the excess glue, just wipe it off. No worries. So now you can see I've got the edges of the hay wagon there. So there we go. And I'll let that dry, and then I'll put another detail on there. Okay, so I've got an issue. I've got a hay wagon with no hay in it. So how am I going to do that? There are different ways you could do it, but a way that I found that works really well is to do this. Take a plate with some water in it, And then I'm going to take some white glue and just mix it in the water. And then just stir it up so it kind of mixes in. Now what I'm going to do is use this solution. I'm going to take some toilet paper and I'll take a piece and I'll just dip it in the water and I'll wring it out. So then I get kind of just a wet glob, and then I'm going to put it in the cart. Now one nice thing about this, besides using a clay or something, would be that the clay would be much heavier. When this dries, it'll be pretty light. When the water evaporates and it dries, it'll be pretty light. So there I've got a clump. But I want to make some more hay in it. So I'm going to use another piece of toilet paper, sop up some more, squeeze it out, and then I'll pop it in there. Okay, so I've got it almost filled up, but I think I want to put a little more. So I want to put it more towards the head because I want the wagon to go down. So just sop it up again, wring it out, and it's pretty pliable, so you can just pretty much mold it to whatever shape you want. And there, so I got it in the wagon. So now you can see the wagon leans forward instead of leaning back. So, all right. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I've got that on there, I'm going to add just a little extra glue on it around the edges. This will kind of help it stay on. Since we dilated the glue down, it wasn't full strength. So I'll just kind of smooth that out on there. And now we'll just let that dry, and that'll take about a day to dry. So nothing you can rush through. You know, in warm weather it could take less, but yeah, it'll take about a day. But that'll be a nice hard mass when it dries, and it'll be light. If you did a hunk of clay or something and molded it and put it on there, it'd be very heavy. Make this piece very heavy. With that, it's going to be much lighter than if you put a chunk of clay on there. So there we go. We'll let that dry, and we'll go to the next step.